weekend ones just because they're so obnoxious. They're not like they're awesome looking, they're just crazy.
They are kind of crazy.
Like the princess ones, not a fan. I mean, they're made for women, they're not.
I like I love, dude, the Tiana medal, the Tiana 10K medal from last year is like my favorite Run Disney medal I own. Like I love that medal so much. Yeah, but that's gonna be Emily's first half. Like that's gonna be a crazy weekend. I gotta find some airfare though. Like, oh my god,
now that you got, because I've only booked marathon. I just booked marathon today, so now I got.
That's funny. I booked my marathon today too.
Because I had to change my flights, right? Because
that's right. Yeah.
like I was like, oh crap, if I don't change them by this week, I'm gonna lose that.
Yeah. Well, it's because I was looking Friday, and like I'm telling you, it was like through the roof, and then I totally forgot about Tampa. Liz reminded, because I was looking at like Southwest on Indianapolis. Like I was like, I'm gonna drive 3 hours, and then she's like, why don't we just look at Tampa? Because we went to Tampa in August, and like that's gonna be my new airport. I feel like it saves me, like the airfare is in half for me. It's crazy.
That is a good idea. Wow. Okay, so can you guys hear us? Just double check, because on Wednesday we had trouble with the volume. I'm sure they can, or they'll be saying something. Hopefully, the knee is getting there now. See, the thing is, you always got to have the next thing, right? The tooth was killing me all last week, so I was on good painkillers for the tooth, which made the knee not a issue. So yeah, I'm up to double digits on the weekends now for the knee. So
I do want to talk about the mini golf thing. I don't know if you want to kick off the show with that or at the end, or
we got a lot to talk about. Okay, so you can hear us. Everybody can hear us. Good. Okay, good. I don't know what happened on Wednesday,
because that's got to be due by like in a week, basically, because we had to prepay it.
Yeah, just let me know and I'll send it to you. I can send it to you tonight, even.
Yeah, but so I wouldn't mind mentioning on the show at some point today, though.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it as we lead off. Let me get you introduced. Okay, hang on. All right, man, got too much going on here. Okay.
Yeah, I see Jessica in the chat talking about Tampa. Yeah, we flew to Tampa in August and we really liked it. So it's just a longer drive. We rent a car every time anyway, so that works out for us. It just added like 20 to 30 minutes on our drive, but for the cost of the savings is just through the roof for me flying out of Detroit. So totally worth it. Plus, you get to see the giant flamingo.
I can't see. It hurts when I smile because right here. Oh,
so I can't be fun. I can't be funny tonight.
You can, but it's just going to cause me pain every time you're funny, which is not going to be good. I mean, it is sore because they had to give me, because I had to do it Thursday. They started it because it was like an emergency, but like this is going to take way too long. You got to come back Saturday at noon. So I'm back Saturday, dude. Saturday was so painful because like it had been killing me anyway. They give me a bunch of shots on Thursday night, and then they went right back into the same spots like on Saturday with the needles. I'm like, oh. I almost punched that dentist when he gave me that shot on Saturday. Because I was like, can I listen to football on my headphones? He's like, whatever you got to do. Because I don't really like dentists that much. And he came out that needle, boom, right into my gum. I was like, about to knock him out because it hurts. Because it was already so tender. He's like, this is going to pinch a little. I was like, no, it didn't pinch, dude. It was like getting killed. It was
so wild.
Oh my God. I hate it. Yeah, it's so sore. I feel like I got in a fight. But I couldn't have talked like a couple days ago, so we're making improvement. What? Okay, I can't. Well, I can try to turn up the volume. Thanks, Eric, for the callers. The callers are on what channel? I'll mess with that once I get a caller because I got 2 channels and I got the lights out in here, so I'm sitting in the dark to give atmosphere. Okay,
I should have wore a costume. I should have worn my Jungle Cruise.
You should have. I was thinking about wearing a hot dog, but I was like, I'll be Eli Drinkwitz on a 2-game winning streak. All right, here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP open line for Sunday night, October 30th, 2022. It's Halloween Eve. I guess it's not All Hallows Eve, so I guess it is actually Halloween. I don't know. It works out like that, but we're going to have a spooky and fun time tonight, talking Disney and talking some Halloween memories at the same time as we get together here every Sunday night. And we're so glad to have our co-host back. He saw everything in the Big Apple last weekend. If you followed him on Twitter at @Scott and on Instagram, Marlessa seemed like she was a gracious host and took him around. He had his 5 slices. We talked about that last week on the show because I guess they're not pieces, they're slices in New York. He was on the subway. He saw all the shows. He's your friend of mine from up in the mitten. Scotty G, welcome back. Scott, what's up?
Happy to be back. Yes, I got so much to say already from the top. I'm going to kick it off though with today's date, October 30th. What did you call today? The Halloween Eve?
Well, isn't Halloween All Hallows Eve? And then there's like Dia del Muerto on November 1st. I
So this
know.
is what's interesting. So in Michigan, it's actually called Devil's Night, and I don't think anywhere else in the United. I learned this recently. Maybe it
Wait,
was
tonight
last
is
year.
like October
Yeah,
30th or
October
Halloween?
30th in Michigan is Devil's
Okay.
Night. It's like this
Oh,
thing
okay.
like in Detroit, basically. Like we're all like the criminals come out and smash pumpkins on people's porches. It's
And they
kind of
flip cars,
crazy.
right? I think I've seen some
Yeah.
things like that on TV, right? They
But
set
uh, but I
cars
don't
up.
think it's called Devil's Night anywhere else in the United States. When you said that, I was like, it triggered that memory for me. But yeah, it's Devil's Night here. But yeah, happy to be back. New York City was awesome. Big shout out to Marlessa, kind of being our tour guide. Yeah, we ate all the food, went to the shows, we did a million things, Mike, and we just barely scratched the surface. Can't wait to go back. It was awesome.
So was there any Disney connection to anything you did at in New York City? I mean, I know you were in Times Square. I think I can't remember if there's still a Disney store in Times Square. Did it go out of business? You see any Disney shows, anything like that?
Yep. So that's still there. It's actually one of the first things we did. So we didn't necessarily want to stay in Times Square, but since we were going to two shows, we wanted to stay like in the theater Broadway district, which is like right by Times Square. So that worked out for seeing the 8 o'clock show, getting out at 11 o'clock at night. It made it a lot easier to go to the hotel, being right there. But yeah, so the Disney store still is there in Times Square. It's one of the first things we did. We went in there. We just went in it just to say we did. It wasn't anything that was like on top of the list. And Mike, it was like any other Disney store except Minnie Mouse was like a Statue of Liberty and said New York City on some things. But it was huge though. Like it had an escalator that went to an upstairs. Like I mean, it was cool, but it just felt like another Disney store, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so now let me ask you because you posted 5 slices that you had
Five
in New York. I
slices.
promise we're getting to the Disney talk here in a second, but I had to ask you because I haven't had a chance to catch up with you on this. So the one that I wanted was the one that looked like an Italian flag. I think it had like red, green, and white on it, like stripes.
Oh, that was Marlessa's slice actually. It was like that was
It
a
was.
pesto slice.
So was that a
So
rockin' slice? Because if I go to New York, I mean, just for the picture, I mean, I
yeah,
need it.
that was good. That was good. So that was the first one I went to, and it was funny. I kind of failed. Like I walked into the joint. I call them joints, or hangouts, whatever you want to call them. I walked into the pizza joint and I saw like 3 pies up front, and just picked one. And then as I went to pay, like I walked deeper into the spot, and there was like 10 more pies sitting out. Like, dang, there's way more options than I would have thought of. But then, yeah, that day I actually wanted to do 5 slices. Then I got off to a late start. Next thing we knew, like we were like touring, we were hanging out in the park. Next thing I knew, it was time to get ready for the show and have dinner. So I knew it was going to happen. So I turned it into a 5 slice weekend. But I had that one, then I had 2 cheese and then 2 pepperoni. There's nothing like New York style pizza to me. Like I love it being just here in Michigan. I mean, I love Chicago. I mean, Chicago's just totally different, right? It's like a casserole almost. Like you can only eat like one slice
Yeah,
and then you're stuffed basically. You're
100%.
lucky if you can get 2. Detroit's kind of like that too, like on the thicker crust side. But there's something about the New York style pizza in New York City, man. That was one of my favorite things. Like every block, there's a spot, that you can just hop into. A lot of them are cash only, so have your cash ready, Just put it
Okay.
down on the table. I'll take a New York slice with cheese. Boom, they hand it out. You're out on the street with your paper plate and walking with your
That is
slice.
so crazy.
It's so cool, man. I just love it.
So did you go to any bodegas? Because like I didn't even know what the term bodega meant until I watched Blue Bloods, and like apparently they're everywhere in New York City. Like they're basically just like drugstores, right? Like little
Yeah,
corner stores.
right. I did not. Sorry to
No, I
disappoint
gotta
you.
do that. Yeah, I'm totally going to a bodega. But on Blue Bloods, that's where the crime always happens. Like somebody's always getting like robbed or shot in a bodega. So
Yep.
I gotta be careful. Anyway,
I
we
did the
could talk
subway
about
too. So
yeah,
so
you
we
did.
did.
Yeah, you did.
So Marlessa showed us the subway like on our first full day. We took it up. We took it uptown, dude. I know all the neighborhoods now too. Like I know how to get. I can get you to the Upper West Side, Upper East Side, over the Chelsea. I can
I
take
was
you
watching you on
downtown.
Find My
Yeah,
Friends. I loved watching you all
I can
around.
I can navigate Manhattan. I think pretty good because at one point we're at the Mets, and then Marlessa's dad just happened to be in town, so they're gonna like get coffee or a little snack. So we were on our own. So we went. Went through Central Park. I'm a big Beatles fan, so I had to go to the Dakota, which is where John Lennon was famously killed at. That was kind of emotional for me being a Beatles fan, so I got to see that. Then we're like, yeah, we should probably go back to the hotel. So we were trying to order a lift. And dude, the lift canceled on us like 3 or 4 times. Like
What?
three, and it was all the same guy. It was all the same name, but a different guy. They were all Muhammads. It was so random, but it was a different Muhammad every time. Canceled on us. I was like, Liz, we can figure it out. We're adults. We travel. We can figure out the subway. We went over to the subway station right by us, looked at the map, like, oh, yeah, we got to take the something ferry. I can't remember exactly what it was. Line. We'll take 3 stops. Boom, we'll be there. We jammed into that thing. It was like they jammed you in like sardines because there was a Rangers game going on. The Yankees were about to play.
Awesome. That is
The
so
Yankees
cool.
were about to play the Astros in the AL. Was it the CS? Yeah, the ALCS. And like you just had to jam in there because it was so packed. So we just like forced our way in. We just stood there, like 3 stops. You can make it. It's only 5 minutes. Boom. We're back at our hotel like 5 minutes after that. Like it was super quick. We were able to navigate it on our own because we had a good teacher.
I wish I'd have been there. I'd have been like, this dude's from Houston.
Dude, there were people. Dude, you saw Astro. Like we walked this famous thing in the Chelsea area called the High Line. So it used to be a train that went through, but now it's like a walking path. It's beautiful, gorgeous looks over Manhattan. But I saw a lot of Astro jerseys where we're walking there. I'm like, man, you guys got some guts. Like I could be an Astros fan, but I probably just wear my casual gear, like if I'm in town,
Overcoat till I get to the stadium.
Exactly. In the stadium, you can change it, right? Yeah, but like in the town, like I'm gonna try to be low key. But yeah, I know you want to talk Disney, but New York City was awesome. We're already looking to maybe go back again soon because it was that awesome.
All right, sounds good. I had to find out. Okay, so we do have an announcement at the top of the show though that does affect the Lizards and anybody that's going to be at Walt Disney World in early January, because we got Wine and Dine race weekend next weekend, guys. I know a lot of folks are heading down here in just a few days to get the first run of the season with Run Disney, but we're already looking forward to the beginning of January for Marathon Weekend, and this is something that we've been asking to do here for quite a long time. It's going to be a fundraiser for Give Kids the World. We're going to have a mini golf challenge. So Scott, you want to tell everybody about that?
Yeah. So those that have been listening know that this is something we tried to do over the last Run Disney race weekend, which was back in April. It was the springtime surprise. It was kind of like a spur of the moment. Hey, let's do this awesome like mini golf thing. It wasn't really organized. We're like, hey, let's all meet here at X amount of time. We'll try to do it. We're all psyched. We had a good, good enthusiasm. And then what happened, Mike? It was just poured that day. That morning we had to call it. And it was call.
Lightning and everything. I mean, it was wicked bad. Yeah.
It was really wicked bad. So we had to make that call. Neil and I already had some ideas for prizes. We had some prizes already ready to go. But don't fret if you are still interested in that and you're going to be there marathon weekend. We're doing it again. Neil's done some legwork for us. He's already called, Disney reservation line, and we can actually book this 60 days in advance. I didn't know you could do it, but I went to the website and it's out there. So it says like walk-ups are welcome, or if you want to make this in advance, you can. So the plan is to find out how many we want to do because we have to prepay this. So find out how many participants want to be there. It's Friday, January 6th. We're going to start at 12:30 and the tee times are going to stagger. So Neil and I are going to try to find what time works best for you. But I feel like it's probably going to be somewhere between 12:30 and 1:30, maybe to 2, depending on how many groups we have. But basically, just let me know. My email, or you can just message me direct, or you can comment on the Facebook post. We do have to have the money up front, so it's $15 per person. As Mike said, we're tying this in to Give Kids the World. So anything over that, we'll definitely donate to Give Kids the World on behalf of the podcast and the Lizards. We'll do a cool thing with that. We already got some great money that we raised for this event already. And then, it'll just be fun. It'll be super casual, good, cool way to hang out. If you're solo, we'll pair you with another group. If you're a group of 4 and you really want to stick together, we'll pair you that way. We'll try to pair all the groups as much as we can. But the thing is, we're all friends, we're all family. So whoever you get to play mini golf with, you're going to have a blast with. So,
and if you bring your own putter, we're going to make fun of you. So don't bring your own putter.
Maybe there's a prize for that. Maybe there's a prize if you bring your own putter.
That's awesome. Oh my God, it hurts to smile right now because
of
this tooth. But it's
going to have to make the reservation because we want to jump on it right at 60 days. So we're going to make the reservation a week from today, the recording. We're going to make it next Sunday. So if you got all week, so if there's something you're interested, definitely hit us up. We'll get you on the list. We'll make that reservation. And I'll try to book maybe a couple more blocks just in case there's any latecomers that are indecisive right now, or maybe some people cancel for whatever reason. So we'll try to have some same day. It's not guaranteed, but for those that don't like to plan, you're there that day and you're like, hey, Scott, is there anything opening? Maybe there will be, just can't promise it. Should be an awesome event.
It's going to be awesome. It's just a great way to get kind of just relax and hang out, because we've had a lot of requests for meetups. We're going to have other meetups, but this is going to be a really fun one. Get a group picture. Fantasia Gardens, correct? Is that where we're going?
Yeah. Oh, good. I should probably say where it's at, right? Yeah. We're going to do Fantasia Gardens. I thought about the wintertime or the SummerSlam. That's kind of fun to do.
Yeah, that's where I was hoping it would be, because I shot my best ever game. You were there.
Yeah.
I could not miss that day over on Winter Summerland. So I gotta.
I think Fantasia is kind of easier to get to, even if you don't have like your own
Agreed.
transportation. Because if
You
you
could
somehow
actually
get to the Epcot area resorts, it's walkable from there. So I think
Yep.
Fantasia is centrally located, which will work out for most.
Yep. If you can get to the Dolphin, you can just walk across the way in your.
Yep.
I think it's the Swan. I think it's a Dolphin. But yeah. So we want to see you there. So again, get those reservations in by this coming weekend. If you're listening on Thursday, you got about 48 hours. Let Scott know at @Scott on Instagram or Twitter. Or just contact me. I'll let Scott know as well. We'll figure it out. But we want you to be there. We're gonna have a good time down at Marathon Weekend. Looking forward to that. Okay, so we're not really going to hit any Disney news because we've been talking already so long. It's 407-413-9395. You want to talk about anything going on in the Disney universe, give us a call, 407-413-9395. I did have a couple of things that I thought might be fun to talk about tonight, as well as Disney, since it is Halloween tomorrow as we record. I thought as you call in, maybe tell us your favorite Halloween costume from your childhood or adulthood, if you're like me, and we could talk about that because that's always fun to look back on memories like that, or maybe Halloween traditions. Maybe you had a job where, like, I worked at a haunted house a couple falls, and that was crazy. I got paid money to chase people around in like a room that it was a maze with a green fog, and it was nuts. And I just laughed my butt off because people were freaked out because it was because there were people with chainsaws. I knew they didn't have blades, but it was the most fun job I ever had, like in high school. And but if you've had anything like that, give us a call. We could talk Halloween, we could talk Disney. Scott, what about you? What's the best costume you had growing up as a kid?
Do you know? Because I've showed you a photo of it. You might not remember. It was kind of scary.
I remember because it's burned into my nightmares. It's the Ronald McDonald.
Yes. Boom, you hit it. So with my red hair, like I used to grow it out as a kid, like super long, super afro-y, super curly, and kind of Ronald McDonald-ish, to be honest. And then one year my mom, it was kindergarten actually, I had these Ronald McDonald pajamas or whatever. I had these yellow and red like tennis shoes. Like I was it, man. I was Ronald McDonald with my natural hair. I had some white makeup and everything else, but my hair was natural. The costume was sweet. I will post it after the show for those that want to see it, but I'll give you the fair warning. It's kind of creepy, man. I looked like Ronald McDonald.
It is not kind of creepy. Just you need to put a warning on this sucker. Like, and it needs to not pop up the same time as the warning because it's too late. Like it's
too late.
Your brain at that point. Like it needs to be like, look, you got 5 seconds to look away before you see Scott is Ronald McDonald.
So it should be like a reel, like of a black screen with text. Like,
yes,
scroll through if you don't want to be freaked out.
100%. That's how we're going to roll that. Okay. So, if you want to give us again, 407-413-9395. Don't wait till the end of the show. Give us a call now. I do have some news here, so we'll hit it real quick. Blizzard Beach is reopening on November 13th. Typhoon Lagoon will then go down for its annual refurbishment, but over at Blizzard Beach, it's got a Frozen layover. Layover. Is that the
I
word?
would call that layover. Yeah.
Overlay kind of thing.
Yeah. Overlay seems right.
Yeah. Layover. You're just hanging out there until you catch your next flight. But yeah, you know what? This is one that 100% makes sense to me. Blizzard Beach, a little Olaf out there. I've seen some pictures. Looks good. I like it. It needed a little zhuzh.
Yep, I'm a big fan of it. I've never been to Blizzard Beach. I think you have, right?
Yeah, I have a few times. Yeah.
Yep. So I love Typhoon. Like we've been there a few times. We just did the H2O glow nights for the DVC members. Had a blast there. Like every time I'm at a water park, like I love it. But it's usually at night when the sun's down, which is when it's the best. But I think I'm gonna try to force myself to go to Blizzard Beach. Maybe they could do like it'd be cool if they did an H2O glow night kind of option for Blizzard Beach instead of Typhoon, right? Just to get more people to, check that out because everyone loves those, those hard ticket events. But I'm excited for the overlay. I almost said layover. The layover, though, could be for the ski lift, right? You're waiting on a ski lift to get to the top of the mountain.
And I've waited forever to go. Summit Plummet it's a hoot, but man, I remember I waited with Paige when Paige was probably 6 or 7. I know we waited at least 2 hours to go down that thing, and it takes 10 seconds.
That's nuts.
But it was fun. The thing was, like, there's a trick too to Blizzard Beach where because again, this was when we were first starting to go. I didn't know anything. There's like the chairlift you're talking about. I thought you had to take the chairlift to get up to the top of Summit Plummet. You don't. Like the chairlift is just a gimmick to get you like halfway up the hill. Then it lets you off, and you got to go the rest of the way, like walking up the stairs. You can just walk the whole way if you want. We waited like 30 minutes at the bottom for the chair and then had to wait the rest of the way. So if you're in a hurry, don't.
It's a process.
But I mean, it was fun. You know, I mean, it's
fun.
kind of cool, right? The chairlift.
But then they have like a lazy river and like other things too, right? Like I really don't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I like the vibe of Typhoon Lagoon more because it's more tropical, right?
Feels like Castaway Key. I feel like I'm at Castaway Key every time I'm there.
I agree. And it's got Typhoon Lagoon has a Crushing Gusher, which I really enjoy, which is basically like the first version of the Aqueduct. So that's kind of fun. And it's beachy, like it's more tropical. Where over at Blizzard Beach, it just feels like there's more concrete. It's more like harsh, you know, like it's pretty and everything. And also the wave pool at Blizzard Beach, I don't know if it's still the case, but when we were there, the wave pool's like constant waves, and it just like made me seasick. I felt like I was bobbing forever. Where we're at Typhoon Lagoon, it's flat until the horn goes off,
and those things are serious.
Yeah, then it just like run, get out. You know, it's insane.
Olaf though makes so much sense. You know, like so I'm really glad about that. That's really exciting to me.
Absolutely. All right, we have first call tonight. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike, Scotty G. This is Hunter in Mississippi.
Hey, Hunter. What's going
on? Man, not a whole lot. Got the kids in here watching a Disney movie, and was scrolling through Facebook and realized you guys were live. So I figured I'd call in. This is the first time I've actually called in. I've probably been listening for 5 or 6 years now.
I appreciate that.
That's
so,
awesome.
Hey, real quick, you an Ole Miss fan? Where's your allegiance there in college football?
I am. I'm actually an Ole Miss fan. Riding the lane train as of right now.
Yeah, nice. Jimbo's funeral last night. Nice win. I liked it.
Yeah, with a payday like his, I don't feel like he'll.
That's true.
He'll be stressing anytime soon.
That's true. Man, that's ugly when he's not going to make a bowl game. Anyway, what's on your mind? Let's. I could talk.
No college football. That's got to be the end.
That's
got to be the end of college football. Or at least don't talk any Big Ten college.
Well, because your team lost, but my team won. My team's on a winning streak, 2 in a row for Mizzou. So I could talk football all night, but we're not. We're going to talk Disney. So what you got on your mind?
So I'd actually sent in a couple of emails. It's probably been a couple of years ago now, on a couple of different topics. One was my wife had done this map, basically of all the different resorts and everything, and we actually have it hanging in our house as kind of a talking point. And we never really did get around to talking on the show or anything. But the other thing was one of the simplest ways to view all of the different resorts while at Disney. We're actually going down, I think, the week of the 10th, and we're going to stay for about a week. And finally talked my mom into going, because all the grandkids are going, and would really like to show her some of the different resorts because she's not a big Disney fan or anything. She doesn't really like crowds and all that kind of stuff. She's more of a cruise goer or a beach, beach vacation type. So this would be new for her. So I kind of like to show her some of the different resorts and where all the different places are to stay and some of the different amenities that go along with them.
So do you kind of, so now where are you guys staying when you go down? Are you staying on site?
We are. So I've actually stayed at all of the All-Stars except for sports. So we're staying there just so we can kind of check it off our list. But I know that's not going to give her a great representation of, what all Disney has to offer.
What's weird though is like I've been hankering to stay at sports here lately. Like and I think it's because when I first started going to Disney, the only thing we could do was go to values. I mean, that was it. We could only go when we caught a discount at a value, and that was where we stayed. And I remember like seeking out the pennant that said Tigers that was black and gold. Now I don't know if that was necessarily Mizzou because they don't say like the school name. They'll have like a mascot, and they'll have school colors. So I figured that was Mizzou, but I just remember we had good memories there as we were kind of starting out as a family. So it was fun. But I mean, of course, the other resorts are a lot more plush. Now, here's what I would say. If you want to get around to see the resorts, I would kind of clunk them. And what I would do is I would get over somehow to like the Epcot area, right? And go see Yacht Beach and Boardwalk and Swan and Dolphin if you want, but you don't have to. I would do those 3 and then, and have a meal maybe over there, maybe combine that with your day at Epcot. But also, when you're over there, you could combine that with the Skyliner resorts. So you can see the Riviera, Caribbean Beach, Art and Pop if you want to see those. And that takes care of that. And then on your, if you're at the Magic Kingdom, obviously see the monorail resorts. And then you could go over from the Contemporary over to Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness. And that'll knock a bunch of them off. Animal Kingdom Lodge, a little bit more of a challenge. You'd have to catch a bus to that one. But Scott, what other strategies would you have? I mean, I wouldn't do them all in one day. I would do like Epcot Day, Epcot Resorts, Magic Kingdom, monorail kind of thing.
Well, Hunter, as you probably just heard, Mike basically took all of them away from me. But no, what I was actually going to suggest first before Mike didn't even mention the one I was going to, ironically. So I know the Sassagoula River is not necessarily the ocean, but you said, she really likes cruising. So I think I think taking a boat ride down the Sassagoula is one of my favorite things to do. Like if you're at Disney Springs, and then you can tour the Port Orleans resorts, you can tour Old Key West, which is mine and Mike's. Probably me and Mike like blindly rated every resort and like had like a point system where we added them up. That would probably be our combined favorite resort. Is Port Orleans? I'm not Port Orleans, Old Key West. Then you can go see Saratoga too. I think those are gorgeous resorts to see. And plus, you can just hop on and off the boat, which is an awesome thing to do.
Yeah, that sounds like a winner. I mean, I think she's going to be more of the type that would want to stay at like the Grand Floridian or maybe I don't know, Saratoga or the Polynesian, so one of those type places. She's more of that type of vacationer. Frankly, I like staying at any of them just because it gives another experience. But I do want to show her some of those different options just so we can talk into coming to Disney a few more times.
Right. No, you got, that's exactly what you got to do as somebody that's not necessarily into it as much as we are. You got to find like what hooks them. Like, do they like to fish? Okay. Schedule them a fishing excursion. Do they like hotels? Well, then don't stay at All Star Sports, like you said, go to the Grand Floridian, go to the Polynesian,
right.
Lodge, and because that's how you kind of hit them where they are and help them. Cause then they'll, if they're happy at their hotel, you ease them into the Magic Kingdom. You don't go like rope drop till, fireworks. You go into the park for 4 or 5 hours. You have a meal. But what I would do for this trip too is when you're touring the resorts with this focus is I would schedule my meals primarily at one of the resorts. So when you go there, you have a reason to go there. So, maybe schedule a meal at the Grand Floridian Cafe. Scott and I both love that restaurant. It's not terribly expensive. It's pretty easy to get an ADR. And then you're right there on the monorail loop. You can have a good time. You can go over to the Polynesian easily. Kona Cafe just came back and it looks amazing with the refurbishment. Maybe you go over there and have a meal, at the Polynesian. But I would, as you tour these resorts, I would have, maybe a breakfast at one or a dinner at one or a lunch because it gives you a reason to be there. And then you can also, after the meal, before the meal, just walk around the grounds, check it out.
That sounds like a winner. Well, look, I'll let you guys go because I know there's going to be other callers try to get in. But I did want to mention, Mike, if you still have that map, show it to Scotty, see what he thinks, see if that maybe prompts any other thoughts in regards to getting around. Of course, I listen pretty much, weekly, so I'll catch the commentary on it.
All right, I'll send it to Scotty tonight. I'll look it up and get it over to him.
Sounds good, Hunter. Looking forward to it.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Hunter. Thanks for calling in.
Guys.
And,
howdy.
We appreciate you. Have a happy Halloween and hotty toddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye. Everybody else like, what are you saying, Mike? That's the chant for old man.
I almost was gonna say like to do like a DVC room tour too, but I know that could be like a time commitment because then you got that'd be a great way to see the rooms too. Like, cause you can't, that'd be kind of cool if they offered that though. Like, hey, I'm staying at All Star Sports. I'm over here having a nice meal at Kona Cafe. I would love to see what the rooms at the Polynesian look like because I kind of want to stay here sometime. Don't you think they should have a room open to just kind of show that?
They should, but I thought I was getting waterboarded by that lady that one day. I'm just saying.
I know.
But then again, like we went over to the Contemporary that day and we got to see, was it Bay Lake Tower? We went in.
Yeah.
Because we were like doing a photo shoot on the.
It's because we were like a existing member because you were with me. Like it wasn't like a sales pitch necessarily. It was like, this guy's a member. He just wants to see what this room looks like.
Yeah, that was way
deal.
They were on me. And, they were really trying to go for.
I got to get you to do the Riviera 3-bedroom one sometime. That room is unbelievable.
I've heard that because I've heard people have stayed in it. They say it's on.
And if we have Mallory, I know how Mallory thinks, so then she'll want to live there.
No, she would. She would. She's already thinking she's getting this car for her birthday when she's 16. Yeah, whatever, dude. I'm driving a 12-year-old Jeep that's barely getting by.
Has she started driver's? I know this is not like podcast related. Has she started driver's ed yet?
No, I don't think they have it at her school. None of the kids take it. But her,
So Emily just started this week, so she's driving that next Saturday for the first time. So that should be fun.
yeah, a bunch of her friends just got their permits over the last like week or two. Unfortunately, she doesn't turn 15 until January. So just, whew, I mean, that's for both of us, right? That's a reality check. I mean, dude, they were just like little girls, and now
I got to call the insurance company and get her added because I think if you're a permitted driver, I think you have to be added. I don't know. Anyway, that's not Disney related,
right? Okay, so give us a call 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. I see Troy is in the chat. He's getting ready for Wine and Dine this weekend down in Florida. So have a great rest of your week and an awesome weekend next weekend. Troy's been killing it. I've been watching his posts over on the Lizards, man. He flies. Like, he's just gone. So he's going to smoke it next week. For good
going back to the kids driving, though, that is Halloween related because that's very scary.
Yes, 100%. That's scary. That's like a nightmare fuel right there. Just like
I think Troy's in the Tampa area too, if I remember. So I'll be flying over by him for marathon weekend. And Tampa's my new home, Mike.
Also, he works in law enforcement. So if you drive too fast between Tampa and Orlando, you may meet Troy or one of his.
Or he could help me out with the fake Scott Gardner that stole a car under my name.
Exactly. There you go. All right. Okay. I got to tell you a story about my dad. He called me last night. Okay. We have our next call on the line. Who's joining us? Hello, caller.
Hey, how you guys doing, Mike?
Good. How you doing? Who is this?
Hey, I just want to say, Scotty G's hat, that's killer, buddy.
Oh, thanks, man. I take it. So you got one too? Yeah, that's right.
I went down there.
Yeah, I feel like I got to get a backup. So I have this polo that I really like. My friend Beth, who's always in the chat, she's awesome. She got me like a October 1st, 50th like polo that has like kind of like the same logo. And like you can't ever find it anywhere. So like I cherish this shirt very much. Like I take care of it, I spot treat to make sure nothing bad happens to it. But she found another one a few weeks ago and bought me that as a backup. So it's, when you got something like an awesome hat or awesome shirt, like I like to get the backup because you never know what could happen to it. So I recommend a backup hat too.
Absolutely. Hey, just want to let you guys know we're headed down again, obviously, in December. This is Brandon from New Hampshire, by the way.
Yep.
And we're headed down again in May to do Caribbean. We're going to do Christmas next year at Disneyland. This is our first trip out to Disneyland. What's your best advice on where to stay to be able to have access to the parks?
Well, obviously, I mean, I haven't stayed there. Scott has, but the Grand Californian, right, Scott?
Grand California has the best on-site access. So, I mean, you can backdoor into California Adventure from there. You have your own entrance to the park from there. And then getting over to Disneyland is super easy too. So the Disneyland Hotel isn't bad, but I will say you will have to walk a little bit further between those two on-site hotels. Now, there's off-site hotels that are close too. Me personally, I prefer to be on site, but I do have a couple that I like that are off site that are pretty close. So, Brandon, are you thinking about trying to stay on site? I don't know what your plan is here.
Oh, are you trying to be on site for this? For this day, or are you going to try to be off site?
Normally on site. We try to stay on site everywhere we go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Mike would agree with you on that too. So Grand California will cost more. I mean, out of the three, and there's reason because I mean it's just gorgeous, it's spectacular. The pool area is awesome, and that location is just you can't beat it. And there's lots of rooms that have views of the park or like downtown Disney, so that just makes it more premier. But I mean, you can't go wrong with the Disneyland Hotel. I know Mike knows that from experience now, so he can talk about that a little bit. It's just at the end of the day, like when you've been walking all day, like that walk, when you're walking past the Grand California, you're like, dang it, why didn't I pay more to stay here? Now I got to walk like another, like, I don't know how long it is, 3/4 of a mile back to the room.
But see, here's the thing though. Scott says that, but then the whole time we were walking back to the Disneyland Hotel, in my mind, I was saying, this is a quick walk because like, even if I'm staying at Pop Century and taking a bus, like I walk all that way from, Cinderella Castle out to the bus stop. And then from the bus stop back, all the way back to, Hourglass Lake on the far side of my building at Pop Century. I'm like, this isn't bad. Not have to deal with any kind of transportation. I'm just there in 10 minutes.
That's a good point, Mike. when you think about it, it's really not that like that's awesome. It's walkable, right? That you can just boom walk back there. It's just when you're walking past that Grand California, it like teases
I'm
you
with
a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I was feeling that. Yeah, I was like, oh man, if I could, that could be my room. Yeah, totally. But yeah, so next Christmas, that sounds like a great plan. So is the family kind of all coming together on a plan with this?
This is my wife and I are the only ones that go to Disney. Actually, it's just me and my wife. We've done this for years. We go twice a year. We do Flower and Garden, and normally we do Coronado Springs at Christmas time, and we do Pop Century during Flower and Garden. We just wanted to try Disneyland because you guys hyped it up so much. I got to see Cars Land. I got to see the overlays for Christmas and all the rides that we don't get in Disney World. I was just curious how to take that approach, which was the best way to do transportation in California, where I know we've got the buses, the Skyliners, you get everything in Disney World. I just wasn't sure how to navigate Disneyland.
That was the thing though, because like again, I was such a rookie at this, and I was lucky Scott was there because he'd been there many times. So I had this backup expert with me, which was awesome. But the whole thing was there is none of that. Like you just by staying at the Disneyland Hotel, we literally walked out of our building. We stayed in the Frontier Tower. And that was the tower that had the workout room, which worked out well for me. And then you just literally walked right through downtown Disney. And that was really nice because it was only about a 5-minute walk. And you were right at the Esplanade where you could go either to California Adventure or Disneyland. And by walking through Disneyland or downtown Disney in the morning, you could pick up a coffee. You could pick up a donut. You could pick, a croissant, whatever you wanted, a hot breakfast. I mean, I've talked about this so many times. I fell in love with it because it was just, it took like a lot of the stuff. And don't get me wrong, transportation is a part of the vacation at Walt Disney World, which is fun, but it's also work. You know what I'm saying? Like you do have to wait for a bus.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's definitely work. You got to plan your day around transportation.
Right. And I mean, you save literally at least an hour a day because you don't wait 20 minutes for this, 30 minutes for that, 40 minutes for this. You're literally you're there all the time.
Another nice thing too about those resorts is like the security too. So like staying at like the Disneyland Hotel, the Grand California, you're not going to have all Disneyland day guests using like your security points. So you check in like right at the Disneyland Hotel, basically kind of like think about like the monorail station kind of. So it's very limited, just like a few, like, I don't know, like 5 to a dozen guests max at a time. Right. So you just breeze right through there and then you don't have to worry about another security checkpoint, which is really nice for staying on the on-site hotels too.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just so awesome, man.
Oh, that sounds
and the resorts are awesome. So I could say
this.
So I've been to Grand California and Disneyland Hotel, like not like in December, but like after Halloween where they have the Christmas stuff going on. And man, both of those resorts are so awesome decked out for Christmas. I mean, Grand California, just think kind of like Wilderness Lodge kind of feel like if you've been over there at Christmas time, very similar with the gigantic tree and like, the dark wood and everything, very similar vibe there where the Disney Hotel feels more like kind of like the contemporary at Christmas time, like with actually the gingerbread house is at the Grand California too, but just, how Disney does Christmas and it's just as great out there on the West.
Excellent.
Man, I'm excited. I want to join. I'm thinking about now 2024 Christmas or 2023.
Pam Forster's talking about it, so I definitely want to get out there for Christmas too. I think she's going this year, so you might get to see some pictures.
Awesome.
So, Brandon, real quick.
I appreciate it, guys. I'll let you get somebody else on there. I just want to get your advice on where to stay on property, I guess is the best way to put it there. I've never been to Disneyland. We've been to World plenty of times. Just curious about how navigation works out there, where to stay, proximity, and how transportation works.
I would just say like transportation once you're on site, like Mike just hit it. Like it's all very walkable. You got the monorail too that you can use too, but the walks are not that bad at all. The key is just getting there. And if you want to do any other Southern California things, like when we went out there, obviously, like I went to San Diego first and did some stuff this last summer, so I needed a car. Mike wanted to go to the Dodgers game, which made sense, so he needed a car. But if Disneyland is like your focus, just getting a ride there, like from a car service and a ride back to the airport, that's all you need. Like because you can just stay in that bubble and just relax and have a great time.
And get in and out.
So they don't have transportation from the airport to Disneyland?
They used to have something called Super Shuttle, which I think has been rebranded, but you can book it. Yeah, it's kind of like in the same situation where Magical Express is now Mears Connect. I think it's probably the same vendor. I think it's just a different name. But like Scott said, we rented a car because like I wanted to go to In-N-Out. We wanted to go to the beach one day. We flew into Long Beach Airport, which if that's an option, it was 22 minutes to get to Disneyland by car from the airport. And it was awesome because it was so small. Like you get your bags outside, you just pull up, you get off the plane outside, like right there. I mean, they pull up some steps and you get off the plane outside. It felt like I was in like a 1940s movie. It was unreal. It was crazy.
You're back in Casablanca.
Yeah,
Huh?
for real. I was like, you landed at the wrong airport. I was like, it's crazy. I mean, but yeah, there were like 7 parking spots, and we were one of them. So
He tipped the bellman. He was like, "This is the start of a beautiful friendship."
yeah, I've never seen the movie, but yeah, let's go with it. No, real quick though, Brandon. So before I let you go, Halloween's tomorrow. Did you ever have a great Halloween costume as a kid?
Oh God, my neighbor I grew up with my grandparents, and my neighbor Kay was so great. She was a seamstress, and she tore up yards and yards of material from white sheets. I played the best mummy for Halloween that you could ever imagine at the age of 10. And then she made me roll around in the yard after she wrapped me up in all these torn sheets. And I won the Halloween contest. Now, in my small town of 600 people, we all met at the fire station every Halloween after trick-or-treating. You followed the fire trucks up to the town hall, and you had a parade show, I guess is the best way to put it, where you kind of walked around the rotundum of the town hall. Now we're talking New England Colonial Town Hall. You got judged on your costumes and age groups, and I was so proud to have those sheets wrapped around my body where I rolled around to my dirt driveway, winning first prize. First prize just meant like a giant Hershey chocolate pumpkin. But it was recognition. Every kid that you went to school with the next day, you were the winner out of 10 kids in your class.
Absolutely. Oh man, I love hearing stories. That's exactly why I wanted to ask the question. That is so cool that your town did that and that you have that memory. I could just picture you the moment, like an old Scooby-Doo episode or something.
Oh, but it was terrible for trick-or-treating because I couldn't see crap looking through these sheets wrapped around my head too, because I'm a kid with thick glasses. I mean, I can look at maps and see people waving. My glasses are so thick. So if it impaired my vision at all, it was terrible. But I tell you what, it was worth winning that year. That's the only year I ever won.
Hey man, whatever it takes to win. That's what the Astros say. So there you go.
Absolutely.
Using Pujols is bad, apparently, right?
Yeah, apparently. I know that was crazy. I don't know what's up with that. But no, Brandon, we appreciate you, and don't be a stranger. We'll talk to you next week. You have a happy Halloween.
Absolutely, guys. You guys as well.
All right, take care.
All right, see you.
Oh man, that's so fun. That's it. I love stories like that. I could just picture New England makes it spookier.
But now I'm thinking like Disneyland at Christmas. Oh. That's what I'm thinking about.
I know, me too. So Brian had a question. He's tuned in. By the way, shout out to Wade, who usually calls in. He's listening and watching the show at 35,000 feet on an airplane, Southwest it looked like.
He took a great sunset photo there, wasn't it?
I'm glad. I can't believe that technology blows me away. And
so I want to ask him, is he going to Walt Disney World right now? Because I know he's doing wine and dine, or is he doing business for a couple of days and then to Florida? I don't know.
Could be. And then Sandra's listening in Australia right now, watching us. And so it's Monday there. So that is, again, very, very cool. I love technology. So 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. We'd love to talk to you. So give us a call. Give us your Halloween story from when you were a kid, best costume. Or you could talk about what you think of the Kona refurbishment. Akershus is coming back. I know ADR's opened up for that last week. Festival of the Arts, too. We got dates. Let me get the dates real quick.
We got Marathon Weekend ADRs coming up, too, Mike.
No, dude, just put me on days. I don't care. When I'm solo, I could care less. And I know you always make good ones, so I don't care.
We're probably going to have some bigger groups. I know a lot of people want to dine together this year, which is great. I love the bigger groups. Those are awesome.
Same. Bring it. We got next call, though. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, guys. It's Michael from Charlotte.
Hey, Michael. What's going on down Charlotte?
Oh, rainy day, a little chilly. Stayed inside and watched a little football, watched a little NBA. So all good.
Dude, I hope you.
Well, how about those Panthers? What a tough loss that was.
That Panthers game. Whoa.
Oh, they're hard to pull for. I can tell you that.
I mean, you're used to seeing the Falcons blow games like that, not the Panthers. That's what was so ironic about it to me.
That was so Mizzou, though, to have like that big bomb catch. I was like, unreal. Dude, that guy threw the ball like 62 yards in the air, catches it, and this about rips her helmet off, and the dude doinks the extra ball. I was like, you got me good.
And then missed the field goal in overtime. Oh, that's why I would hate to be a kicker. I know this is not what we're supposed to talk about, but man, I'd hate to be a football kicker. Oh my gosh, all the pressure.
Anyway, oh my God. So yeah, my sympathies.
Yeah, it's been a rough time for the Panthers. I was born in Atlanta, and when I was 5, we moved to the upstate of South Carolina. So I kind of lived in between Atlanta and Charlotte. But for up until like right when I was out of college is when the Panthers kind of came about. So I kind of have that, allegiance to the Falcons, but they haven't been much better to root for either. So,
because we have a friend, Joe, down in Atlanta, Joe Laszlo. I believe he's a Falcons season ticket holder. And I mean, his poster is they're epic every time on Twitter because the Falcons will just do the stupidest stuff. Like
they're like the Lions, except they go further though.
Yeah, like they get close and then just it's terrible. Anyway, so before everybody gets mad at us, and Anthony's giving his Eagles chant in the chat here. What do you got going on? Let's talk Disney. What do you got?
So a couple things. So I saw the Run Disney question, and I got a couple of. I'm going to be brave and say a couple Black Diamond tips here.
Yes.
For early morning pre-race, and I've hung up my running shoes a few years ago after my second meniscus tear. So I don't do that anymore. But two things we figured out we would run as a group. One is the Porta-John situation. I don't know, maybe they've changed it, but after you go through the point where you can't go back and where the guests can't come through the bag check and all that, if you aim for the corner, the V or whatever you want to call it, of where the Porta-Johns make an L, there's always the shortest line there because nobody knows which Porta-John they're in line for.
That is a Black Diamond tip. Let me just tell you, like, to think about it that deeply, I like it. That's great. and also the
because
fact
there's like 1,000 Porta-Johns there, right?
Are.
And everyone has a long line, and you get in there, and it's like about half the line of the others.
Mike, what are you gonna say? The fact that the way he phrased that as you got to aim for that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When you said the word aim and Porta-Johns within about 5 words of each other, I was like, oh, where's this going? Because I've seen some messes. Okay, go ahead. Anyway, no, it's a good tip though.
Oh yeah.
And also the tip that maybe we're missing is always wait till the ones past the point where you have to go with a bib, right? Like get out of the general public Porta-Johns and at least eliminate all the suckers that aren't running. So at least you eliminate some of the people to wait in line.
Right.
And then there's going to be more. There's going to be more on the way to the corrals.
Yep. And here's the second one. All right. So take a grocery bag, a Publix bag or something, tie it up, put it in your pocket. When you're done with the race, then you can get your goodie bag, your not goodie bag, but the box of stuff they give you and bananas or whatever they have out. You can get them and put them in that bag, and you're not walking around trying to balance like 2 boxes and a bunch of other stuff.
It's a great idea because I'm always in that situation because like I want to take a selfie with my phone too, and like I got all the stuff in my pocket. I never know what to do with. Michael, that Mike, you should ding that one, man. That is a gem of a tip too. I like that.
Ding, there it is. No, yeah, it's a great
so
tip.
Easy. It's a grocery bag. Doesn't weigh you down. So
what's funny is like I'm severely allergic to bananas. I can't touch them, and so like with running, especially on Marathon Sunday, it's like people throw knives at you, especially like when you hit mile like 20. It feels like there's bananas like twice as much as there's water, and I'm like whoa, and you're trying to miss the peels. People are chucking them. And it's nuts. And then, you go through the nutrition box line at the end. Everybody they're so excited to give you that banana. I'm like, get a banana-less box. I mean, I don't care like if a banana is sitting, I'm not going to do that. Like, just give me a box, like keep the banana. But some of these people like get offended when like, I don't want the banana. Like, it's like, can I just have a box? Like, no, take the banana. I don't know. Maybe getting kicked back from Chiquita or something. I have no idea. That's a great tip, though, because you're right. You're trying to get those post-race pictures. You're trying to get selfies. You're trying to manage your medals. It's a mess. And you're already just a wreck, right? You're tired. You're sweaty. It's gross.
Yeah, and if you're running, if you're doing a multi-race event and you want to grab some extra bananas, the ones that you're not grabbing, maybe I want to grab.
Come up behind me. Yeah, get mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm not, I'm allergic to them, too. I always have to say no thank you to the banana. I usually take them now because Emily's in the room, and it's usually like a little breakfast snack for Emily when I go back to the room.
I can't touch them, man. They just they're bad. So let me ask you this real quick, Michael. So best Halloween costume from when you were a kid? We got to get this in. I'm loving this.
Yeah, so probably the traditional. I was born in '71, so I had the old Superman and the plastic face mask that cut into your face.
Yes.
And the little strings that they also doubled on the little paddles with the rubber balls. It was all the same type of string, but those are the ones I remember. And the plastic outfit that came with it.
Yeah, those are
that's what we had.
Yeah, they're called Ben Cooper costumes. I think they came in the box with a clear window there. You can see the mask, and you got like a smock. And a lot of times, like the bodysuit wouldn't even be like if you're Superman on the chest, it would just be a picture of Superman instead of being some kind of tights. You look like Superman. No, it showed everybody who you were. I guess it was so when you went to the front door, people knew who you were trying to be. But I mean, costumes were not that good.
They knew
in
the mask
70s.
didn't look anything like what you were supposed to be. So.
No, exactly. Because I had the same ones. I think because I've researched how to do a lot of retro stuff, and I think they're called Ben Cooper costumes. So look them up. No, stop. Scott Showing Ronald McDonald. I can't take it. Oh my gosh, good costume. So favorite Halloween candy. What do you got?
My favorite candy overall is Reese's peanut butter cups. But I will say my favorite Halloween candy is the Almond Joy because my kids and my wife don't eat them. So anything that's in the bag that's an Almond Joy is mine. And I only eat them once a year. So it kind of makes them good. I mean, I could buy them anytime, but they just show up one time a year, and I like them.
You know what? Pam Forrester says the exact same thing. I think it's on tomorrow's podcast or it was on last week's, but on Wednesdays. But she sings the praises of Almond Joys once a year. She's just exactly
and
scary.
Yeah, and every once in a while you forget that the Mounds bar is out there, and that's kind of a good little mix up on the Almond Joy. But yeah, I don't see those as much anymore.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cheap candy this year because of inflation. Everybody's going to be getting sixlets and stuff. It's going to be pretty ugly. We'll see. Hopefully we get some good stuff.
So Elizabeth and Emily were out running errands, and I was doing my own thing today. And I came back and I saw single candy bars, just piles of them on our island. So looks like we're going the full candy bar route this year, Mike. Which it could be scary if we don't get kids, and then we're gonna have all these full size candy bars in our house.
Text me, I'll give you Scott's address. Everybody,
that's dangerous.
It is dangerous because last year we only had 40 people show up. It was small. There's kids all over our neighborhood. So we'll see what happens this year.
I think this year we'll have a lot of trick or treaters because we're getting good weather, so it's going to be nice. I think we'll see. Looks like it. All right, Michael. Well, thanks for the call, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right, see you later.
All right, see you later.
All right, 407-413-9395. We have our next call.
You got some good run Disney tips there. I like.
But when he said aim and porta potties,
you and I were both giggling like high schoolers.
Help it. I was like, where are we going with this? Because I got a 12-year-old brain here. All right, we have our next call. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike and Scotty G. This is Chad in OKC.
Hey, Chad. You're out in KC, you say. Kansas City, Missouri?
No, OKC.
OKC, Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma. Okay, Oklahoma. All right, so we won't talk about
my Cowboys took it on the chin now.
Is that what you're calling it? That's what you're calling that game yesterday, man. Woo! I saw the score and I was like, that can't be the final score for Oklahoma State. They did not get shut out, but they did get shut out. Yeah.
Brutal. So just got back from Disney. Scotty G, we sat by some Michigan State Spartans on the Skyliner. I thought of you, but anyway.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Okay. So Mike, you did the trip for us, and you told me to let you know about Mears Express.
Yes.
From MCO. So I was going to give you an update on that.
Yeah. So tell us the whole good, bad, and ugly, because I have not used that yet. Because I've been going solo and I've been using Uber.
Yeah. So okay, we were trying to get into Animal Kingdom as fast as we could because of the 7 p.m. closure time. So we were hoping to get in the park by 1:30. Flight got in at noon. So we go down to the check-in there for Mears. They tell us, they say, what hotel are you going to? I say, Pop. They say, okay, you're in line 14 or whatever. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, this can't be right because we're express. And that's what they just told the people before us. And that's what they told us before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, let's just go. So we go over there and we're standing in line. And my wife's like, what is wrong? And I'm like, well, something's not right. We're express.
Right.
And finally, it's like, well, go up there to the counter and ask them. So, so I go up there to the counter. And I'm like, listen, we're express. We're just waiting in line like everybody else. Aren't we supposed to? And so she looked it up and she says, yeah, they told you wrong. So she said, yeah, you're not supposed to be in that line. She said, wait over here. And so they checked. She said, well, we don't have a ride for you. So we're going to have to get you a vehicle. So we wait for a little bit and they call us a taxi. So that's fine. But, we got a 3-year-old with us as well.
Right.
So I didn't,
And that was one of your concerns,
kind
was
of part
the
of the deal.
car seat situation. Yeah, because you told me that you're worried about the car seat. So we talked about, these motor coaches probably being the best solution. But yeah, so far,
Right.
I don't see any express happening here. Like, this does not sound like any form of express that at least we go by here in Missouri.
Right. There you go. So they put us on a taxi. We take the taxi to Pop. And then, okay, so that was our express experience going. Now, coming home, they were going to put us on, the deal on the express, it said if you go express, you get 2.5 hours to 3 hours before your flight. They'll pick you up. If you go standard, it's 3 to 3.5. So I was really looking forward to that extra 30 minutes. We were going to try to get as much in that last morning that we could. Well, when they sent me the pickup time, they sent it for like 3.5 hours early.
See,
so I sent a message. I said, hey, we're express. We're trying to get that extra half hour. Can we push that back? And they're like, well, we're worried you won't have enough time, but if you'll, we'll do what you want. And I said, okay, well, let's make it 2.5 hours early. So the Mears van pulls up. I go out there. He's like, yep, your car, let's go. So we get in the van. It's 2 other families in the van, which is fine with us. That was great. They take us, they drop us right off at the Delta area. So that was better than getting off at the standard spot. But I will tell you this now, we messed up because we traveled with our in-laws, and my wife and I have TSA pre. So we never worry about the time. So we get through in 10 minutes. My in-laws stood in line an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow.
To get through security.
Yeah, it gets
hour and 20.
What day of the week was it? Sunday?
It was Saturday.
Saturday is like one of the lower times to be at the airport too.
Yeah. They stand an hour and 20 minutes. Now listen, we're going to miss our flight. And so we get there. We left the hotel 2.5 hours early. We're going to miss our flight. So about 40 people let my in-laws cut them. And even at that, it took an hour and 20 minutes. We jump on that train. Luckily, we were the first gate. We made it by like 2 minutes. We get on that flight, and then we have trouble in Atlanta. And I literally run to the gate, and he is pushing the buttons to close the gate. I holler at him, and he stops and lets us on. So we made our flight.
Wow.
Okay, this was okay, hang on. Let me hit this. There's your scary, there's your nightmare for all the Disney fans out there.
Perfect way to end the show. Like, that is scary right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, Mike and Scotty G, I actually got a message en route to Atlanta that they had rebooked us to the next day, that we were flying home on Sunday instead.
Wow.
So, oh my gosh. Anyway, it was crazy. I don't know what happened with the flight, but we made it.
So basically they should not offer this express post stay back to MCO at this point with the lines like that, because I mean, really, if there's a situation where the lines could be that long, and that's probably not uncommon nowadays, because I follow a Twitter account where it shows how many people pass through TSA every day. And yesterday, the numbers were within 10,000 people of the exact same day in 2019. So travel is exactly the same as pre-pandemic at this point. And some days it is higher than 2019, like over the last few weeks. So travel is back.
Wow.
And it just seems like Express makes sense going to Walt Disney World, right? Because you have more control over that. You're already there. They can take you directly to your hotel without stopping at 5 other hotels. Like that totally makes sense to me if they have the infrastructure to get it done. But what I would say in this case is not offer it going back to the airport. Maybe everybody does need to be there 3.5 hours early just to be safe. I mean, because nobody wants to shave off an hour off the end of their trip, but I would rather do that than have to go through the nightmare you went through with almost missing your flights.
Yeah, and I think. Go ahead, Scotty. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Jack.
Well, I think the ideal thing, the express from the airport to your hotel could provide you some benefit, assuming it was done correctly. But as of right now, Mears makes you book that round trip. So you don't have a choice. You can't just book that one way. Coming back, I don't think it gives you any advantage. Yeah,
which I mean, right now they should, at least until maybe the TSA lines settle down, they should make it only like a express, they have to divide it up. Like Disney Cruise Line, for their transfers to get from the airport to the port, you can book it round trip, but it's the same price whether you book it one way or round trip. It's $39 each person per way. So they should just offer express pre, and then there's just one standard thing to get you back home. It's kind of false advertising in a way.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my report on it. I mean, I've done it both ways. Going from the airport to the hotel, we didn't have to stop at any other hotels. We should have gotten on a little bit faster, but overall, that's about my only take on it.
How's the taxi ride?
Oh, it was fine. I'll tell you what, coming back, man, to the airport, it was awesome. We had this driver named Caden, and this guy had been driving for 12 years, and the whole way, it was like the greatest tour guide ever. He told us about every hotel, every highway. He's telling us about the governor. It was amazing. He told us all kinds of stuff.
He's probably a former bus driver at Walt Disney World. That's what they do. They have all the scoop.
Yeah, no, it was great. I tried not to get into politics with him, though. I don't think he was a fan of the governor, so I kind of bit my tongue. Okay,
dude, because you are going wherever he goes. So I would definitely just agree with whatever political views he has, at least till you get out of the car. And then
that's right.
That's when you're like a Republican. You any party. Like, let's go, get me safely back to the airport, and have a nice day. Here's your tip. Go score. So real quick before we let you go. So best Halloween costume from when you were a kid.
Oh my gosh. Now listen, I used to do this thing where I'd put this big old pillow in my bottom now and make it stick out 100 feet, and I'd put one in my chest and so messing. I walked around like you've never seen. I mean, it was amazing. The chest is huge and bottom's huge. And listen here, it's the easiest costume ever, but you look like a champ. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that. I'm seeing a trend with our listeners, very creative homemade costumes, which I love.
That's it. And it's cheap.
Hey, man, you're my people. Well, that's it. That's why we all get along so well here.
All right.
Well, hey, thanks for the review, and you have a happy Halloween with that family. Hopefully get lots of good candy with the kids.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you have a good one. All right,
take care.
All righty, but good show tonight. Went quick and lots of good fun stories. Disney.
Good show. What are you going to be for Halloween this year, or what's Mallory going to be? Is she still dressing up?
So we got a chicken onesie in the mail yesterday, but she didn't like it. So I thought it was awesome. I mean, it's got a tail, it's got a hood with like the beak in the front. Like, I mean, I would wear it, but she said it looked dumb. So we're sending it back. This is how everything is. So I don't know what she's going to be. She's going trick or treating with her friends over in another neighborhood. My wife and I are just going to sit on the front porch and dish out the goods. Yeah. What about Em?
Well, you don't watch movies, so I don't know. Do you know Napoleon Dynamite? Do you know that movie?
I've seen memes. I've never seen the movie.
Yeah. So Emily became obsessed with that movie during early days of COVID when we were isolated, and she watched that movie a whole bunch. So she's going to be Napoleon Dynamite. She's got the boots, the Trapper Keeper, the Vote for Pedro shirt, the glasses. She can do the dance at the end. She kind of pulls it off. I just got to see it right before we started the show, because she just got the boots today. So yeah,
I'll be watching for the pictures.
Yeah,
I'll be watching. So you guys just.
So, but I won't be seeing the chicken now. So what's Mallory gonna do? Just be a cheerleader or something?
Who knows? I'm that's the least of my worries at this point. I do not.
I know.
They're gonna go over to another neighborhood with her friends. They're all skipping school. I think on Tuesday it's a skip day, even though they have class.
Interesting.
Her and her friends, these cheerleader girls, this weekend had a big sleepover, and they did a PowerPoint presentation as to why they can skip school on Tuesday.
Wow.
And so they presented it to us via text. And so we watched it this weekend, and they are going to all get together. They're going to big sleepover. They're going to do their work on Canvas, which is the online system.
Interesting.
Because
Okay.
their assignments will be posted, but
Okay.
apparently that's the big deal. So
Okay.
if she gets in trouble, too bad. That's how it's going to go. So I'm not having anything to do with this. Just so you know. Former teacher here. Former teacher, not endorsing any of this. I'm just trying to live my life and give out Kit Kats. You know?
There you go.
You do. Anyway,
I'll be giving out the full size version.
Yeah, I would be up at your house. I know we do not have full size. We have snack size. I saw them upstairs on the mantle. So yeah. Well, anyway, we'll do this again next Sunday night, so we can maybe have some folks call in from Walt Disney World after the Wine and Dine Half Marathon festivities, maybe going into the post-race party there over at Epcot. That'd be kind of fun. Again, wishing all the BR podcast
talking to you, Katie. Katie, you give us a call. I want to hear how the race went.
Yes,
or anyone down there. Yeah.
Well, and safe travels to everybody headed down. If you're headed down Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever you're doing, be safe getting down there. Enjoy every mile, get a lot of pictures, enjoy the medals, and make the memories, man. Have a good time, and welcome back, Run Disney, for 2022-23. It's going to be a great season, and yeah, just can't wait to see the pictures. So we're going to be back again next Sunday night. So join us 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central here on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be taking your calls. And of course, our shows are always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. You know where to find them over at themagicforless.com. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link as you shop online during this holiday season. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you, as always, to our patrons who make all these shows possible. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Get in on Mike in the Midwest, the bonus show every Tuesday. We'd love to have you over there as well. Give Scott a follow. Check out all his New York City pictures over at EpScott on Instagram and Twitter, EPSCOT. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Would love to talk to you this week. And again, just thanks for being a part of the podcast family. Well, hopefully you can golf with us, mini golf with us in January. And we're going to have a good time. So always appreciate you tuning in. Always appreciate you calling in. And hope you're having a great Sunday night. So again, if you're watching live, be careful on that ride home tomorrow night. Slow down a little bit as the kids are out there running across the streets and all that in your neighborhoods. Give them a break. They won't be looking, so we got to look out for them. And let's have a happy Halloween and boo to you. So for Scott, I'm Mike. Wish you a great Sunday night or a great Thursday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
Good. Gotta get that. That was a good show. That was a good show tonight. How did last week's go? I missed it.
It was bad, dude, because I got a nosebleed like 40 minutes in. I had to call the show off.
Okay, I wondered about that. Like someone I think it
I
might have been Katie. I think Katie was listening who messaged Marlessa. It was like, oh my God, like Mike got a nosebleed during the show or something.
Like I could feel like my nose started feeling like I had one earlier in the day, and like I could feel like it started to run, and then I could see like in my nostril in the video. I was like, oh my God, my nose started to push. And so I was like, oh no. But nobody was here. So like I couldn't like turn it over to anybody. So I'm like, I just got cut the show, get a nosebleed. It's the weirdest thing ever because it was so dry in here, I think. Live show was today, October.
I'm posting the creepy Ron McDonald.
You totally should. Oh my God, I didn't go take a ibuprofen because we were laughing too much, man. I tore up my mouth.
That was good, man.
That was a good call.
Good laugh.
Good calls, good stories. I love when we get good calls.
So you're just recording one tomorrow with Pam? You don't need me tomorrow?
Well, if you can make it, that'd be awesome. I don't know if you're working from home or what you're doing.
I'll be in the office, and like 4:30 might be tough. That's usually like around when I'm leaving. So
yeah, because we're gonna do it at 4:30. We're just gonna knock that out real quick so we can still do Halloween. And then Tuesday it'd just be you and it'd be me, you, and Ricky.
Okay.
We gotta wait till Ricky gets home from work.
Okay.
But what we're gonna do, here's what we're gonna do on that show, just so you can kind of think about it. You're just gonna throw out 3 things like within a category, or no, 4 things in a category. So it could be like 4 restaurants. It could be random restaurants. You could do like
Applebee's. No, just kidding.
No. like boat rights, Sebastian's Bistro,
Maya Grill, and Liberty Tree Tavern.
Okay, so those 4, right? And then the other 2 have to rank them. Just like no rules. Like you can rank them like, however you want that day. And it's going to be 4 because it's better than 3. And just random things, just like not even the same categories. So you get like Wilderness Lodge, Pop Century, and French Quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. Or, 4 of them. So we'll just like top 4, just random ranks or something.
I like it. Because that'll be the college football playoff that day. I think will be being ranked.
Stop, man.
I mean, It'll be when we're recording, and when the episode drops, we'd already have the ranking of the college football
Yes.
playoff. But
It's good connection. I didn't think about that because
Yeah.
I will.
and it ties into Disney because it's ESPN. So there you go.
That's awesome. Yep. Unfortunately, Bama won't be in there. Michigan will. So
Well,
Michigan probably 4.
yeah. I mean, it's just gonna hold. It's gonna be Tennessee, Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State. I mean,
Or
Right.
wait, who's I was thinking of the other 4. Clemson's close.
Clemson, TCU's up there too. But
Yeah, but I don't think they've.
yeah, it's just gonna be the 2 Big Ten and 2 SEC schools for now. I mean, they play each other. Like, I mean,
that's the whole thing. Both teams play. Like Georgia's playing Tennessee and Michigan State Michigan plays Ohio State here.
yeah, like that last week. So I mean, so one of them is gonna get knocked out most likely.
Here comes the tide.
No.
Saving just like.
I'm hanging up on this call now.
I know how to get. All right,
You're talking Halloween. You're talking scary stuff now. You're talking about Nick Saban. Yeah.
Yes, text me a picture. All right, have a good one. I'll talk to you
See you.
tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.